Good morning. Today is 17th February 2026. It's a Tuesday. Here is Vijay commenting on the markets, what happened yesterday, mainly what happened yesterday. Now, yesterday, in my opinion, was one of the most fascinating days in many years. It is not to be trifled with when I say in many years, because the last time I saw something like this was somewhere in April 2021 as far as Bank Nifty was concerned, and some I've not been able to get the data for the other. I mean, not able to get any incident in the last few years for Nifty, but nevertheless, quite a few things happened. The first is yesterday was supposed to be a bad day because everything which had to go wrong was going wrong. We had the RBI diktat on the margin trading funding, which had gone up to about 1,36,000 crores. Typically, it is about 80,000 to 1 lakh crores. So there was a fear that there will be a large scale sell off. So market opened lower with a big gap down, and that was the opening gap. The low was the low for the day, and the market steadily climbed against the so-called prevailing psychology. Markets do this many times, but what was so special yesterday was that the US markets were shut, global markets were down, China was shut, so and the other markets, Asian markets, were not doing well. So generally, there was a sense of unease among market participants that even FIs will, do nothing. They may not come to buy, but they may not also come to sell. And the HNIs, ultra high net worth individuals, were all going to get affected by the margin trading funding. The big brokers, the proprietary traders, you name it, everything was looking very bleak. And yesterday did something else. Now, Nifty closed about 225 points up. That was what we call a candle. If you look at the candles and if you study them, it was called an engulfing bullish candle. Now, engulfing bullish candle means that the low is lower than the previous day's low, the high is higher than the previous day's high, and the close is above the previous day's high. So, this is a classic bullish engulfing candle, which we saw in Nifty. So Nifty's 225 points rally from Friday's close was not to be, not something small. It was big, but more important was what it did as far as a pattern is concerned. But the more interesting part was the Bank Nifty. The Bank Nifty also did an engulfing bullish candle, but this bullish candle took away the last 5 days of trading candles. Now that is amazing, especially when everything is going wrong. And the banks, the ADRs were all down. They have been down for quite some time. And here you have the private sector bank led by HDFC Bank and the Nifty led by Reliance doing something of a somersault. Most people may think this is nothing because Bank Nifty is, I think, about yesterday was 762 points up. Bank Nifty has done much more in the past. So what is so special? The special is that this kind of emerging the engulfing bullish candle. The last time I saw was in April of 2021 when we had the second round of COVID. Things were very bleak, and from there onwards, it took off and it never looked back. So you can go back and check your charts on that. That is the second point. Now, if you look at volumes, volumes were low. Typically, when a turnaround happens in the market, the volumes are low because skeptics are high. People don't want to buy. Prices come down on lower volumes, and then the turnaround happens on lower volumes. It is never that there's a selling climax, which many technical analysts think it is. That it is only in their brain, in their minds. It is never the case. There very rarely you will see the selling climaxes happening with large volumes. Yesterday, declines were more than the advances, so nobody would pay attention to somebody calling bullish yesterday or talking bullish based on yesterday's patterns. But my gut says this is something else based on data and based on history. I would say we have to give the bulls a very good chance for them to have got a low. The budget days low should hold. That should be the stop loss. I feel I am not a SEBI advisor, but that is what I think should be the stop loss. I think things can only get better. But then the challenge is today, when all the global markets are open, GIFT Nifty shows 80 points down. That's par for the course. It is not necessary that we should open with a gap up. It could open with a gap down. But what happens during the day and the close is more important. And as I said, the budget low is the low. Asian markets are not doing that well. Dow Jones futures are down by 100 points. There is a problem in Iran. There is a fear that Iran could be bombed. The Brent crude is slightly up, so things are not that good. But yet we have to see these were there yesterday also. Yet our markets have behaved differently. Incidentally, today Kospi also made an all-time high. It is not that everything is bleak in the Asian region. So I would give more than even chance for the bull trend to resume. When I say bull trend to resume, overall the stocks should do well. I'm not a great fan of Nifty. Maybe a 10% could be really big for Nifty over the next few months, but it could be more of a sideways market for Nifty. But Bank Nifty is where the place to be. And there are enough number of indicators to show that both private and public sector banks should do well, and so will defense stocks, so will auto stocks. There are number of stocks which are looking very, very interesting, especially the results have been good for a lot of companies. But there are also results which are not good for so many companies. But I'm just saying it is probably the worst seems to be over. We will know it in a couple of days. Today will be a very decisive day, I feel. So we would like to watch it carefully. We have bought into gold and silver yesterday, and we will continue to buy on all declines because I feel they are stabilizing, and we are looking forward to a brighter future for precious metals as well as for natural resources. So whatever you do today, I hope it is successful. Thank you for joining me.